organic and you're sure of that cattle or whatever you're eating is organic, I probably wouldn't want to eat that liver, right? So we deplete in pyridamines. These guys in Switzerland worked out on a Saccharomyces cerevisiae how to increase the pyridamine take. So this is 2/3 pyridamines and 1/3 purines. You already have certain purines in your diet, so now we lift them both up, and that means you have much better replication. Secondly, what's important about protein synthesis? They need a nucleotide. I view the nucleotide as the string on the balloon. Without the strings, you just have the balloons floating around, and it doesn't matter how much good protein you have, they won't be taken to the cytoplasm, and they won't be having protein synthesis. So this is very, very important. In the clinical trials that have been done, which are multiple, they are good at immune function, gut function. In athletes, and this is what really excited me because I am a prime athlete, as you can see. So I found out that professional athletes, when taking this, run faster, run further, recover quicker, have lower post-training CRP and lower post-training cortisol. This is legal doping. That's why when you see me on the 100-meter track next year, you'll know how I've done it. And this was a game changer for a lot of things, and it is our #1 sold product in Nordic. It's by far, and we have 1,500 products. This is #1. It's taken me a long time to get people to understand it, but everybody, this should be a base nutrition. The next one we do is the Broccolox. Now, you've heard a lot today about the need for sulforaphane. There's a lot of products in the market that postulate to be sulforaphane, but they're not really. You've got to be very careful that it's a pure sulforaphane, and because if it's not, they will not contain the enzymes necessary to activate the sulforaphane. And this is a wonderful Australian woman who developed this. A bit rudely, I call her the Wicked Witch from the South, because she always has a go at me for something. Chris, you haven't understood it properly, you haven't done this right, you haven't done this right. But she's a stickler for getting it right. So she has extracted the broccoli sprouts, which then deliver 50 to 80 times the amount of sulforaphane you would get them from just a broccoli. And she will reject orders of $50,000 orders, which annoy me somewhat because it means I can't get supply sometimes, because if she can't deliver what she says, she won't deliver it. And that's, for me, it's very easy to send me some green powder. It's very hard for me to determine whether it actually does have all the stuff in it. So this is a fantastic product, and I'll pass it around in a minute. You see how much I'm going to put in? And most people go, oh my God, it's going to be awful. But it isn't. And when I pass it around, just smell it. And that's, for me, when we talk about supplements, this is what it should be like. It's food. This is direct nutrition. We've spoken a lot about bone broth, and I know lots of you have questions about it, and I'm going to tell you maybe later in more detail. But the bone broth in this, the challenge in creating a collagen product is the method of heating the bones to a certain temperature so that you extract the protein. Now what happens is, and I can promise you, I can imagine you're doing at home, you do a slow cook and you say that's the best way to extract and we're going to get lots of collagen. Well, you might do, but you will destroy the hyaluronic acid. So you do not, in the vast majority of collagen products, get natural hyaluronic acid. The two boys that developed this, and where's my notes? There's some brochures over there for you to read. There's two really talented Danish guys found out how to do the extraction at the right temperature to get both very good collagen and very good hyaluronic acid. And because we're mad about organic and biodynamic and no crap put into them, we only source from cattle that we know where, we must know the farmer. We won't accept bones from somebody that just says, oh here, they're organic. We need to know what farms they come from. So this was for me, a tremendous product. We found a methodology to freeze dry it, like you saw with the powder, and you pass that around. It doesn't smell. It tastes really, there's very neutral taste. Vitamin D, you all know about D. I don't need to spend much time with that, but this is 2,000 international units, and some experts waffle on that. It should have 4,000. So okay. But sorry, we'll just do a bit more. Right? There are very few people that we see that have really any severe effects against high dosage of vitamin D, and of course you measure it. Key bit to all this is to continually measure, and I've taken upwards of 50,000 international units of vitamin D for a very long time, and my blood plasma levels are always within the top end. VDR gene's important, you'll hear about that later, and that's why sometimes people seem to have a real problem absorbing vitamin D, is because of the challenge on the VDR. So, how far have I got? I need to go back to my recipe. We normally put the flaxseed in here as well, I don't have any here. And I know for the comp sufferers that you don't want too much green tea. On the other hand, if you're going to put green tea in, you might as well put the best. And this is a Danish company that found out how to elicit the greatest amount of ECGCs, and it's a highly potent green tea. If you took this as a cup of tea, you'd be flying. So people say to me, "Oh my God, how many have you had?"
Mix that with the ginger.
You can mix it with the ginger, and talking of that, we'll put a bit of that in there.
Okay.
Okay. That's not too much. That's okay. And then the last thing, which is so we put a probiotic in, and we've all know a lot about probiotics. It's perhaps the only what we call functional food that really has transcended the whole food market. You get milk companies putting it into their yogurts. You get lots and lots of retail products containing probiotics. Unfortunately, most probiotics are challenged. They are very fragile. They break down very quickly. Most don't pass the stomach very well, and that's why you have to take these billions of units, because most of them don't get there. That's not to say probiotics aren't important. They are very, very important, and we have been demonstrated multiple times how important they are. However, the spore biotics are far more robust. You don't require as much, and the really exciting thing with this is a study was published last week, which we're all very excited by, because it demonstrated that one of these spores, we have 4 spores in here, and again, you get all the brochures and you can read it, but one of these spores, Bacillus infantis.
Subtilis?
Sorry?
Bacillus subtilis?
No, infantis. Has been demonstrated to impact the way MRSA, multi-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, is not defeated, because you've got to be all of this is a balance. So what it seems to do is it just shifts in the microbiome downwards. So people with MRSA infections are actually controlled. And it's a very, very interesting study. And it showed also in the oral microbiome, which by the way is going to be the next big area that we need to be looking at. So we're going to look at oral microbiome and gut microbiomes. And
yeah, we get translocations.
Right. And all of this, I don't tell my son when I'm making this, right? Because that would be too much. But yesterday we spoke about it. We only put water in. This is again the fallacy of a farming industry. Oh, have milk, whether it be cow's milk or almond milk or anything else. No, we don't need it. We don't need it. This is more than enough nutrition. And my kids, and they really are big guys, have never had milk, and they've never had gluten. And the doctors used to say to us, they're not going to be, you better call the ambulance now, because they're not going to survive. Right.